Originally, it was going to be 5 plugins. Some of the footage got messed up. I had to cut it out. So we're only looking at 4 plugins. Now, Pro Tools is a pretty big application. There's a lot of plugins that come within Pro Tools, especially 12. But the plugins I'm speaking about here are plugins you can use with version 12, 11, 10, version 8, 7.47, 6. I don't know about version 5 because some of these plugins came in pretty late. And yes, there are some people still using older versions of Pro Tools. And you know what? If the system is stable, you're getting the results you want, then that's fine. It's all about the results at the end of the day. Now, here's something I see a lot of people do. Let's say I'm starting off for the first time. I want to record some vocals, and I've never recorded, never mixed a record in my life. I go to eBay and I purchase myself an M-Box Mini with Pro Tools 8. And right after I get it, I set it all up. I go to the Wave site and I want to purchase the Chris Lord Algae bundle because I heard of the compressors are good. That's crazy. I look at people like they're nuts when they say stuff like that. And you want to go and pay $200 or $300 for a bundle and you don't even know how to mix or record yet. First, you have to learn how to record, then you have to learn your plugin. So let's take a look at these 5 plugins that I chose. Again, there's so many, but these are the 5 ones that I really use a lot. So the first one is the Digi EQ3 or the Avid EQ3. Depending on what version of Pro Tools, it's going to be called either the Digi or the Avid. It's all the same. When you first open this plugin, it might look intimidating. You got so many things going on here. And believe me, once you start learning these plugins, you'll get used to all the options. You won't even think about it. You just grab your mouse and start moving things around. So it takes time. You're not going to learn this in one day. You have your high pass, high mid-frequency, low mid-frequency, and low frequency. And believe me, this plugin could do some stuff that some paid plugins can do. One of the things I love about this plugin, let's say the vocal sounds muddy, you could do this. Check that out. And basically, I'm holding down Shift and the start button, and that gives me that ability. Trust me, I have a lot of paid EQs. 2 or 3 of them do that. For something that comes with your DAW, this is pretty cool. Then you have another thing that I use all the time, which is my high pass filter. This is great. You know, let's say you're working on a vocal and you just want to cut all that bottom out, and then you got a low pass filter. Basically doing the same thing, you're just cutting the top off. So it's definitely a pretty cool EQ. Again, I'm not going to dive into all the functionalities. The BF76, which is an emulation of an 1176. This looks a lot easier, right? You have your input, your output, your release, your attack, your ratio, and your meters. I would suggest you learn what a ratio is. I wouldn't really worry about the meter too much. Very simple. You'll pick that up. Learn how to use an attack, release, and just play around with the input and the output. It's one of my favorite compressors. And here's something I almost forgot to mention. This plugin has a key input. Some third-party versions of this plugin won't even have this functionality. And what this functionality is, it allows another sound to control this compressor. I know it sounds really advanced. So the next plugin is an expander / gate. And without getting too technical, this is how I use it. When I get live drums and I solo the snare, every time the snare hits, sounds great. But in between those hits, I can hear other things I don't want within that signal. I don't want to hear the hi-hat, all the other noise that's going on in the background. I just want the system to show me the snare. I just want to hear the snare. So I use the gate to do exactly that. We're going to take a look at DVerb DVerb is an amazing plugin. When I started out, forget it. This was my go-to reverb. Now I have third-party reverbs that I use more than this, but hey, I still have this in my template. It still works. It's lightweight on the CPU, which is very important. All the plugins that I showed you have just about zero latency and very light on DSP. Forgot to mention that. This plugin has a lot of features, has a lot of options. I do prefer the old version. I don't know, I got used to it. Although the new look, the new GUI, it's a lot better. Looks nicer. And you know, you have all these options here. Play, room, ambient, and you have your decay, your pre-delay, HF cut, your diffusion, your low pass filter, small, medium, large, and over here you have your gain. So there's a lot of things here. And yes, I know I could do a better video and showing you how each thing works and sounds. I didn't really want to do that. I just really wanted to show you what are the top 5 plugins that I will go to all the time when I'm using Pro Tools. So if I would go to a friend's house that they didn't have any of the plugins that I have, these are the plugins I will always use. They work fine. They give me no issues, and I know them. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, post in the bottom, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel if it's the first time watching one of my videos. Later, guys. Sweet. So now if we click audio, you can see the 3 licenses there. Pretty cool. So now the computer's authorized to run those 3 licenses. But I don't want it that way. I want to send them